Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Samantha and today I'm going to be sharing with you a brand that I thought I would never be able to get my hands on, and it is Melt Cosmetics. Now, I have made no secret about the fact that I would really love to own the Gemini palette from this brand, and when the Smoke Sessions palette became available at beautybay.com, I snapped it up. So I'm going to be sharing with you swatches and of course a try on, and I have already applied it, as you can see, to one eye. So this is the packaging. So it's green, it's gorgeous, and as you know, if you're a regular viewer, I am really getting into green eyeshadow in a big way. So that's the packaging. You've got the name of the palette there, the brand. On the back, you've got all of the ingredients, and there it is. Yeah, the website as well is also available there. That's in America. Obviously, I've purchased from beautybay.com. It was £40, so I've broken my rule. This is the first rule that I've broken this year for my New Year's resolution, because I vowed never to purchase expensive palettes. But I had to break that just this once because I really wanted to try this brand. So this is no longer available, or it's sold out on the Beauty Bay website, but you can, if you want to, sign up for email updates and they'll obviously notify you once they have stock again. I believe with a lot of these palettes from this brand, they are limited edition. So obviously once it does become available, I would snap it up like I did, because I think with the Gemini palette it is no longer available. I don't think we're going to be able to get it within the UK. It was obviously available on their US site, but unless you ordered from that site and pay a lot of charges for it to come into the UK, you know, you wouldn't be able to get hold of it, and that's my reason why I didn't snap that up first time round. But anyway, I snapped this one up, and let's look at the palette itself. So it looks like this, again, very much the same as the outer packaging. So, you know, it's green, it's gorgeous, and then you've got obviously Smoke Sessions there, along with the brand, the brand name there. And then on the back you don't have the ingredients. Obviously if you want those, you'll need to keep the packaging, the outer packaging, and then that's a close-up of the back there. But let's take a look at the inside. So first of all, you've got a mirror. So a mirror. Also, it is magnetized, and it is a nice strong magnet as well. And then let's have a look at these shades. Beautiful. And I have already swatched them, and of course I've already got the look on one eye. So there you have your shades. What I will say is it's a palette of two halves. You've got the yellow side there and then the green side there. And you've only got two mattes in here. So that would be, I suppose, my first bugbear, the fact that you've just got the two mattes, although I do think that this palette is like a sister palette to the Gemini palette itself. But if it is a sister palette, then I would have loved for that palette, the Gemini, to be available to purchases in the UK, because you've only got two mattes here. Obviously they do offer stacks, and there was another palette I believe on their US site, but it seems like everything goes out of stock very, very quickly. It does seem to be a very popular brand. So you do have the names underneath each pan as well. So let's go through the swatches. So I'm just moving things around. So we have got Gravity OG, which is the yellow, like golden shade. We've got Granddaddy, which is absolutely beautiful. That is just stunning. Black Widow, gorgeous. It's a yellow stroke green. Then we have the first matte, which is Sour Diesel, which is very much like a very deep khaki green. We then move on to the green side, so we've got Space Queen, which is a matte again, very much like a deep petrol green. We've got Mean Green, which is the first of the green shimmers. We've got Sweet Tooth, that beautiful, very vibrant grassy green, and then we have Blue Dream there, which is that aqua green. What I will say is that apart from the first three, these onward didn't swatch very well. I suppose this one, Sweet Tooth, wasn't too bad, but they didn't swatch very well at all on the arm. But of course, it's how they apply on the eye. Now before I filmed this is actually my second video filming this palette, and I did try and do a look solely with this palette, and I used Sour Diesel in the crease, but it just didn't look right on me as such a very deep colour. I did try Space Queen to deepen it up and give me some depth, and you know, to shake it up a little bit, but again it didn't work. So I wiped all of that off, started again, and I applied a separate matte. I think that's the only thing missing from this palette, is the fact that you don't have that transitional shade. So I went in with my Revolution Reloaded Basic Mattes palette, and I went in with, and you'll see this in action in a moment, this one here. So it's the top row, shade 4. Obviously it's upside down. So let's get on with the look, and then I'll give you my review. So I'm starting off, of course, with my Primark PS Eye Contour brush, and I am going into the Revolution palette and that shade. Like I said a few moments ago, if you are going to bring out a sister palette with only 2 mattes, and I've seen a lot of videos on this palette just because, and the Gemini, because I watched them. I don't usually do that before I film, but I didn't think I was ever going to get my hands on these palettes. And you know, a lot of people were saying they seem to be sister palettes. Well, if that's the case, then you need to make both palettes available to everybody. But obviously that then gives you the hype, I suppose, and why it's always sold out. Now I'm just going underneath my eye as well to give me a base. And so I'm going in with that shade quite heavily. As you know, I do like a heavy transitional shade, but I don't want anything to take over the eye look. I want this palette, the Melt Cosmetics palette, to shine. I've now got a, it was clean, but obviously I've used it for this side. I'm going in with Sour Diesel, which is that deep khaki shade there. If you do want a close-up of this palette, I will do a close-up on my Instagram and give you a little video of it close-up as well. I can't get too close because of the mirror. I'll see if I can actually show it to you. There we go. So those are your colours. So I've gone in with this one here. Okay, so I'm going to keep building that up. Also, what I noticed is that in the pan it looks like, and I've mentioned it, it looks like a deep khaki, but on the eye it transfers onto the skin as like a deep petrol. It looks very, very similar to Space Queen, and in fact actually when I was creating the other side I thought, wow, have I gone into the other colour? But it's not, it is just how it applies on my skin. So I'm now taking that up. Also, what I will say, it's one of those shades that, I don't know, it's not smooth. Now, bearing in mind, I have watched a lot of videos on this palette, as I mentioned, because, you know, I didn't think I was going to ever get my hands on it. And I didn't hear of anybody else having any problems, but this doesn't blend out as smoothly as other brands, certainly not as smoothly as the first shade that I've applied. Yeah, but it does work with a shade underneath on its own. And like I say, this is the second video that I have done with this palette, because Sour Diesel did not look very nice on its own. It actually went on very patchy. And even when I built it up, it just looked, it didn't look very nice on its own. But when you apply a base colour and then this as a second shade, then it works. It looks beautiful. But on its own, no. I didn't like it on its own. I'm just putting a little bit more here. So like that, just keep going side to side and then take it up a little bit. And I think with that base shade it just looks stunning. Okay, now for the shimmers, which is what I suppose this palette is all about. Now I'm going to go in with Black Widow there, which is that, it's like a khaki green yellow. What I will also say is that these shimmers they do have some fallout. The mattes do have fallout as well. The shimmers have fallout, and they also feel a little bit chunky too. But on the eye, they go on very, very smoothly, absolutely beautifully. But to start with, you know, the formula is different to what I'm used to, I suppose I'm trying to say. And there's definitely a lot of like shimmer and sparkle going on there. It's just such a beautiful shade. Okay, so that is Black Widow. In fact, I'm just going to apply a little bit more because I love the shade so much. I mean, it is just gorgeous. Now what I'm going to do is get this brush, which is the 250 pencil and powder smudge brush with the point, and I'm going into the shade next to it called Granddaddy. That one there. It is like a gold, but it's got a little bit of Black Widow in it as well. So it's gold, but it's not a true gold, unlike the first shade called Gravity OG. Now I'm just putting it all around the inner corner. I think once I get used to, because you know when you change brands and they have a little bit of a different formula, you have to get used to it. I'm just going into Granddaddy again, and I'm going to pop that on as a spotlight shade there. That, outstanding. Okay, and I'm just going back to my original brush, tiny little bit of Sour Diesel, and just like that. Okay, so that's the look with the actual palette complete. Now I'm going in with the liner as always, and that is from Revolution Smoky Waterproof Gel Liner for this smoky beautiful look. And I'm just going to, that's better, a little bit more there. And then of course I'm going in with the Mascara Revolution, my favourite mascara. And then I'll give you my not my favourites, my final thoughts. On the lower lash as well. Just complete the look, and then I'll give you a close up. Okay, so my final thoughts about this Smoke Sessions palette. First of all, I love the packaging. I think it's absolutely beautiful. I'm really obsessed by green at the moment, so anything with green in it, love it. Love that it is also magnetised. I really love that. It's not going to fling open, it's very strong. I also like the fact that there is a mirror. I know that a few of you will like it. I like the fact that there's a mirror, but I don't necessarily need a mirror, but I like that they've added one, especially for the amount of money that you're paying for this palette. I also absolutely adore the shades in here. I can't wait. I mean, obviously I've tested out this half. I can't wait to test out this half now. Really love the shades that they've chosen to put in here. They're grungy, they're golden, they're beautiful. Same with these. Love how they've, you know, they're swatched. Not how they've swatched, but the colours that they've swatched like. I think the... and obviously I can't wait to try those and create a green-eyed look. I think regarding the swatches, I always say when I swatch, it's just for colour reference, just because you don't know so much how it's going to apply on the eye just from a swatch, so it is just for colour reference. And you can see here that there's only 4 really that have swatched that well. The rest are a little bit hit and miss. But on the eye, I must say, especially with that base colour, the matte has worked very well. I didn't like it at all. Sour Diesel, that is, that one there, you don't want to see up my nose. That one there did not work very well on its own at all, but with a matte base shade, it works beautifully, looks stunning. Really love that. The shimmers in this palette is what really, really, I don't know, shone. So I've got low battery. Shone within this palette. The shimmers are outstanding. It's a thicker formula. It's a little bit, I don't know, textured. You can feel that there is a little bit of texture there, but on the eye they work absolutely beautifully. Really stand out shades. Love them. I think with the mattes, they are a little bit of that formula that sticks in one place and doesn't necessarily blend smoothly. Obviously I have applied this shade to start with, and there was that blend, you know, that smooth blend, but with the Smoke Sessions palette it tends to be not a smooth blend. I mean, you know, I've tested a lot of palettes, so you know, I know the difference. But when you put that, or when I put that matte underneath from another brand, and obviously it needs a lighter transitional shade, you need a lighter shade to start off, and it's worked beautifully. I really, really love the look that I've created. I don't like it on me personally with that shade all the way up. It just doesn't suit me. So second time around, really pleased with this palette. Really pleased that I picked it up. I wish that the Gemini palette was available. I've mentioned it a couple of times in this video that if you're going to bring out a palette that is very similar to another palette and not so many mattes, and you can use another palette in conjunction, that one really needs to be made available to everybody and perhaps not limited stock quite so early on. And I know this was limited and it sold out on the US site, but they've brought it back. So it would be nice to think, obviously they're not they're not watching this video, but it would be nice to think that they brought that palette back as well, because I've been after it now ever since it launched in the US. So I would love that. But I've got my hands on this one. Very pleased with the look. Absolutely love the shimmers. I would love to hear your thoughts. What are you thinking about this palette? Yes, I know it's the only one that I have purchased outside of my New Year's resolution. It's the only expensive palette that I've purchased this year, so I think I can be excused. But I would love your thoughts on this palette. What are you thinking to the shades? What are you thinking to my look? Obviously close-ups will be on my Instagram page, so I'd love to hear your thoughts on everything I've discussed today. And of course, if you are brand new to my channel, I would love it if you stuck around and subscribe to watch further videos. Perhaps you would like to see the green-eyed look, so do subscribe to watch that. I'll be sharing that with you over the next couple of days. But until tomorrow, thank you so much for watching. Thank you. Bye.